All right, y'all. If you've been with us for any length of time, then it's no surprise to you that we strongly believe in the power of direct mail. I think I speak for all of us when I say our inboxes are full and our mailboxes pretty much only get bills. So if we're getting anything other than that, we're excited. And direct mail is a great way to cut through the noise. Magazines have great staying power as well. So postcards are impactful, especially with consistency. If you layer in the magazines, it can really pack a punch as well. So I know that there is fear in the unknown. A lot of you have heard our other agents mention that they do these magazines, but how do they work? What does the interface look like? What is the cost? We want to address all of that today. And so if you've been curious about this, you're in the right place. Miguel is a representative with Home by Design magazine. He's going to do all of this with us today. Miguel, thanks for being with us and sharing what you got.
Hi, good morning to all. Thank you, Kate, for having us too here, Danielle.
Hi, guys. I just want to take a moment to introduce myself and Miguel. So Miguel is our by design at Teldon here director, and I am the sales and service manager for by design publishing as well. So I'm just going to go over, the benefits of why a personalized magazine really would, increase your footprint in your real estate market. So right now here you can see the personalized magazine. We have two editions. We have our YHL magazine as well as our um, HBD magazine. Let's take a look here. So print is still tangible. Sometimes people say print is dead, but it's not. If anything, you may notice that you're getting less and less junk mail. And so when our product arrives in the mail, it is custom mailed to your client when you provide us your list. So it's something that you can touch and you can feel. You can flip through the magazine. There is in-home design in there. We also have, travel and life information on there as well. So it stays in the home on a person's counter or on a coffee table so that they could read it over and over. And what's great about it, it's not just reading the content inside, your picture, your information is branded in there, your messaging is in there. And we'll go a little bit further into that through this presentation. What's you'll notice is with their competitors and keep me honest here is when it's online, it's just a 10-second, maybe like if you're lucky, 5-second touch point. So you kind of just scrolling through it when you're going through your reels or your social media, or it's being piled into the junk. So that's why print is so important and it's very tangible. Our target market, obviously, with print is it's very effective. You are providing us your client base, so past customers, potential customers that you want to put on the market. You can again give us your mailing information, and we'll mail that directly to them. It's customized, like I said previously. It has home design information, how to display a room, or tips and tricks in there. So like I said, it's the messaging for your audience is specific for the home and in there. The power of print. So 82% of consumers trust print ads over, that digital marketing. And the reason being, and what we've heard from our clients who have been successful with using the magazine is because, like I said earlier, it is mailed directly to your customers. So it's not classified as junk mail. If you get a piece of paper, a flyer, it's often just tossed right into the recycling bin or the garbage. But this is, there is some meat to it. It's heavy. It's pleasant to look at. You might see your favorite recipe or destination to go to. So people will keep it in reference. On the right there, you'll see, 3/4 of the magazine readers and the age market that we see the uptick. Obviously you can see the highest is 55 plus, older generations, and as we go down in age we see a less of an uptick. But surprisingly, I know that this one hasn't been updated, but we are seeing that shift. Print is just making a real comeback. We're hearing that from a lot of our clientels just because it's overwhelming in the inbox and junk mail, and things are getting missed. So a lot of our realtors and the editorials we're hearing from our past clients and current clients is that it is working and they're returning to us if they had taken a break. Especially right now, we find it's a really busy time with the spring and summer coming into motion. It's the awareness of being out there in the market. So yes, it's like I said, it's human crafted. It's it's not associated with spam or socials. I think I touched on most of this, unless Miguel wants to add anything.
One of the big things with print is the legitimacy, right? Because with digital or anything that is in print, you can probably think that it may be AI or something created non-credible. And with print, you know there's someone behind it, right? And that someone's actually taking the time to put something crafted together and promote your brand, right? Print media also uses a special real estate within homes. Within homes, the magazine, what it does is it not only makes inside the home, but it makes it onto your coffee table. And what happens at these living rooms? People actually interact and host, right? So then a lot of people come into the living room, see the coffee table, see the magazine, see your brand. So it's a no-brainer for your brand to be actually aware and just be out there. Multiple opportunities of engagement. A magazine not only will give your brand presence, but it also gives some value towards it because it gives you, like Danielle mentioned on the slide before, it gives you some helpful tips around the home to improve your living room, bedroom, kitchen, and of course, it also gives you easy to follow recipes, which everyone likes to follow and wants to be a cook, right? In some way.
Thanks, Miguel. So I'm just going to skip through the next slide, but we like to get into the meat and the bones of it. So HBD Home by Design is our premium magazine. What you're seeing here, the image on there, it is our latest magazine that will go to print for June, July. It's 52 pages, this magazine. I'm just going to hold it up. You can see it's a bit thicker. It's very nice quality. It's got a beautiful bind on there. So it's well crafted. To Miguel's previous comment, we have in-house marketing and publication there that puts it together. It's 52 pages. There are 4 pages that you are able to custom. So this front page on the far left, where you would put your overlay, your image, not a requirement, it's definitely preference, your contact information, as well as the back page. This is where the top section is the mailing information. Again, you can put your own information, your colleagues' information. If you partnered up with people, it's definitely customizable for whatever you want to put on there. And then you also have access to the inside front cover and back cover. So you'll put a message. You're seeing on the screen a default message. So that's if you don't have time to customize the message, we'll put one in there for you. Would take the thinking out of being, no, you guys are super busy, so we want to make this easy. We put the message in there, but that's not to say if you don't want to customize a message for your clients, you can definitely do that. So that whole section there, that's the orange color with the picture, that section there is customizable in the front as well as in the back cover. A lot of times we'll see clients put in a seasonal message, or they'll put more of a generic message if they're buying, say, in bulk. I can go over that a little bit later, so that they can leverage the magazine throughout the seasons. So this magazine is a bi-monthly subscription we recommend. So it goes out 6 times a year. And so, like I said, this one that you see online here, this is our newest one that will go out in June, July issue. The one I'm holding right now, this is our April, May issue that will go out and hit homes at the end of the month. So it's a lovely product. Low quantities, we recommend the lowest is 50 units or 50 clients or touch bases, or you can purchase in bulk if you're wanting to use that at, say, an open house, or drop it off at a doctor's office, or your local gym, coffee shop, etc. Any questions before I go into the next magazine? I can pause
Can you
there.
do less than 6?
Pardon me? You can. Yeah, we do recommend the frequency, just because this magazine does print every 2 months, bi-monthly, but absolutely we can custom a schedule for you.
Great.
Good
And just
question.
one thing I wanted to add too from the benefits that we have with both magazines, as Danielle will enter with the next magazine. Um, you can also offset costs within your magazine, as this magazine has no ad competition at all. It's personally yours. But as a realtor, I know you guys most likely work with mortgage brokers, moving companies, staging companies. One of those inside back covers or outside back covers, you can actually sell that space to a mortgage broker, use half of it, and say, hey, I'm going to get you here to get promoted within my magazine. And then that person can actually pay a little bit towards your subscription or your magazine or the issue that you're wanting to purchase. So that's a little bit of a trick to offset a little bit the cost. And that way, that person also gets promoted, right? And it's someone who you use on a daily basis for your transactions.
Perfect. Thanks, Miguel. So the next magazine we have is our YHL, Your Home and Lifestyle magazine. And this magazine, it does have a 12-month subscription. And again, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, but you can custom the schedule as well, which is, it's more frequent. We recommend that you are in the home so you stay top of mind. So again, you can see this one's a little bit thinner. The one, again, you see on here is our next issue to go out for our April issue that will hit homes, and the one that I'm holding right now is our currently in market. So this one is 12 pages. The difference between the two, the inside, yes, there's slimmer, there's less content in the inside. There also is one less custom page. So you do get the outside front and back again, but in this one, you also only get the inside front as well. So one less custom page, but again, it's still very beneficial. And to Miguel's earlier comment, there's another slide I may go through, which is you can offset the cost by partnering up with, to his point, other brokerages or colleagues that you've used in the past, or if we've seen offices that there's multiple of you, so they'll just divide the cost there. And again, this
Danielle,
one,
sorry,
mm-hmm.
just real quick question. So,
Alex.
you guys can do all the customization without us thinking about anything for every issue if we want, right?
That's correct. So we do
Okay.
have personalized marketing assistants that once we sign you up, they reach out to you. They'll take all your information, Alex. And if you say, this is the messaging I want, we'll send it to our designer. We'll take your content, we'll create it for you, and we'll send it back to you, obviously, to approve and then input it. So we try to take it out as much as we possibly can, as long as you're able to provide us what you want. And then if you don't want to do that or the customization, then like I said, we do have default pages people go with.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, great question, Alex. Thanks. Anyone else? No? Okay. So again, I think we've kind of touched on the rest of this information, but I'll go over it. So it's just about enhancing your brand, staying in the homes. Like I said previously, it's great opportunity. Your marketing is on the front, the back, your personal messages. It's something that sits on a coffee table, in a coffee shop, in the doctor's office, the dentist. I know I have some realtor friends that came over at Christmas and saw it on my coffee table, and they were like, "Oh, this is great." I hadn't really, they knew what I did, but didn't know what it. So they saw it and has signed up and are happy with it as well. So it's some personal experiences there, and the client engagement. How often do you drive by? And I know maybe some of you may have the bus, the bus stop logo, but then it's like, where did I see Alex's face? What bus stop was it? And you're trying to refine that and you can't. But when you have the magazine and it's in that client's home, it's easy for them to reference, or easy for them to say, hey, Miguel, I have a realtor. Here's his information, and pass it on, and say, here, this Alex has helped me with my last home, right? And that's the other thing, is sometimes we forget about past clients. And I know my realtor, he's recently signed up and gotten the magazine as well. And it's great to see it in my home and have his I can be able to say, hey, I bought my house from him 3 years ago, and I still have this magazine, right? And he's still top of mind for reference for me. It's a great experience, just creating those extra leads. So here are some highlights if you are wanting to customize. this is some examples of what people have put in the past or even currently, areas that they've recently sold. And so if you're doing a more regular cadence, we would recommend some of these. Obviously, if you're doing maybe bi-monthly or every quarter, you wouldn't want to maybe put just sold because it'll get outdated faster. So we'll help you with those tips and tricks. Personal information, any charity out that you want to emphasize on that are upcoming. I know Miguel had mentioned, but homeowner tips and tricks as well. Things that you can make and change in your home. New listings that are coming up. You can showcase the premium, the price of the properties, local events that you may be involved in. Upcoming, especially if it's a seasonality. Come see, breakfast with Santa, or if you're doing something in the summer barbecue or a thank you. I know often realtors do those as well, as I've been invited to them. So it's good to showcase your charitable or your outreach to your clients as well, just increasing your brand awareness. As well, we do have a referral as in here. So let's say, Alex, you refer a colleague, and they can also, you'll reap a benefit there. What is also important, I don't believe it's in one of these slides that I should highlight, is that, and Alex, you're on my screen, so I'm keep referencing you, I apologize. But let's say Alex does go with the home by design. When you provide us your mailing list, if Danielle is on your mailing list, and when Kate decides to subscribe and you're in the same area and she gives us Danielle's contact information, unfortunately, I'm already on Alex's list. So I'm dedicated to Alex. The system is smart enough to realize that we cannot mail to another, a same client list. So it'll highlight that. So it is really just for your client. So you're a little bit ahead of your colleague if they're in the same area. If that makes sense.
I see Jennifer has her hand up,
Oh, sorry. Thanks.
Danielle,
Yes,
and she may have
Jennifer.
a question.
Yeah, just quick question. If you could go back to the last slide there? I
Yeah.
love that full page seller's market that lady has there. So would that just be like a PDF that we created in Canva and that we would send to you to possibly use on an inside back cover?
Yes, that's correct, Jennifer. Great call out. So this is an
Thank you.
example of a previous realtor who sent us their cover. And this is like one sample. So, and if it's doesn't fit, we'll adjust it and we'll let you know. But typically it's a PDF. Some people also have their personal marketing. So their marketing people will send it over to us and we'll input it for them. Yeah, great question. Thank you. Anyone else?
Somebody mentioned that that their dentist allows them to put it in their office. I don't know if that was you, Kate, or Brian. Okay. So I guess we could, just sort of thinking out loud here.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Offer, for example, a free ad for our dentist in exchange for them putting it in their office, or anyone else for that matter. Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes your dentist, depends, I guess, the relationship you have with those businesses in your community, or people that you go and get service from, your chiropractor, massage therapist, the gym, the coffee shop, local coffee shop. It's really up to you if you want to add an ad, and then that can help, again, the cost. Or if you have a good relationship, sometimes they'll just let you drop it in there, and then it's a magazine on their coffee table. But yeah, absolutely.
I'll just add in. I mean, I would go for just trying to put it in the places that will let you put it there. The ads, if you're going to do that, like, probably hard for a dentist to. I mean, let's say you're going to send this to your SOI, and maybe that's 100 or 200 or 300. That's not the same reach as like some citywide or statewide or countywide magazine. But like the people that you work with, like she mentioned before, a lender or a home inspector or whatever, they have a lot more margin and value in making you happy. And this is an easy way, a legal way, a RESPA compliant way for them to pay for advertising and offset your cost. So you might get more bang for your buck out of, if you're going to go the advertising route, to sell it that way. But if you don't want to bring up the, selling anybody anything, you could, of course, do like you described. And then I had one other thought, and now I can't remember that was related to this. But anyway.
Well,
I
have,
remember.
like I think a lot of people, my dentist is a client several times over, and a friend, as are a number of doctors, friends of mine. And many of them have waiting rooms and probably would be more than happy, maybe just to put it in their without having any kind of an ad, but you know, I guess it could be offer them something just to keep it in there. I don't know, just thinking out loud a little bit, but
Yeah, it's really what suits you. Like there's, I guess, no right or wrong answer here. If you want to include something for your dentist, then you could work that through them. But yeah, it just depends on where you're mailing it and where you want to be, where
yeah.
you want your clients to see it, obviously. Perfect. But great comments and questions there from all three of you. And then we touched on this as where, just some other spots. Maybe I missed your beauty salon, new prospects, grocery rack, restaurant. I think I touched on. So yeah, different suggestions as to where you could leave them on the coffee tables or in the waiting rooms. And that's all that we have, but I love the questions. It's my favorite part, probably Miguel would know. So Miguel, if there's anything I missed or if anyone has any further questions, we're happy to go through that with you as well.
Is there any chance we could see the interface to know like how people edit their info on a monthly basis? And
Yes, I don't have it on this slide per se.
We can probably
But
show like kind of like the portal.
yes. I
And
don't
while
have
you're
it
pulling that up,
accessible.
I had been using this for like 10 years, and I loved it. My clients, thought that I like published my own magazine. That's kind of like the whole point of it. And so there's an association between, oh my God, if he's publishing his own magazine, like he must be really successful. And so that really helps in terms of establishing you as like the top agent that they know. And as far as the portal goes, I don't know what it looks like anymore. Obviously, I don't sell anymore, so I don't do it. Stacy does, and I don't see what it looks like on her end. But I also used to just any updates to my database. So like if I sold, I only did my SOI, and so if I had like new clients or whatever, I would just email in the spreadsheet to the rep, and they would get it done for me. I don't know if that's like preferred protocol or not,
Yeah, I
but
know.
it was easier for me to fire off an email than go into a portal and do anything. So
100%. And we try and do all the heavy lifting and make everything easier for you and for all our clients. Just some people like to have hands-on and go into the portal and do things for their own. But we do offer a personal marketing assistant that is assigned to each client, as you probably know. And you send that email, those images, whatever you want, and how you want your magazine done.
yeah.
So that's a big benefit.
So one of the other thought I had thought about before is I had a past client who what ran a nonprofit, and
Yep.
so I allowed him to run ads for free for his nonprofit in there. And so not all the time, but like that's just another way if you want to connect, or if you have relationships with those types of entities. You're not giving them a ton of exposure necessarily in reality, but it's certainly goodwill, and they remember, they appreciate a free opportunity to advertise.
Yeah,
I
and you
have.
build that relationship, right, with that person, and that person can give you any referral or word of mouth, right? And another thing we also do, the magazine can also help you as a secondary channel with a QR code in it. Because if you put your QR code and that goes directly to your website, that's a perfect opportunity to put any listings or any updates that you want to do real time too. So it's just two channels that are just marketing for your brand.
Do you for any guidance on where to put the ads or how much to sell them for or any of that?
We can give you guidance on what kind of exposure and what kind of presence you want within the magazine. Like if this page for you is important to be, or would it be a page where you want to take advantage more of putting that home inspector or that mortgage broker on it? We can give you advice and say, well, this is probably an area where you can run without it, or put someone else on that ad, but it is entirely up to you at the end of the day. The only thing we can do is give you certain advice and certain tips of what other people have done as well that has been also successful on their end. And with the pricing, I think we could also help you in terms of, well, this is the cost of your magazine and this is the cost of your issue. I believe maybe you could probably
Yeah.
charge this much to them, because on ultimately we're not making more money by selling that ad. That's just you grabbing your total and just offsetting your cost, right? We're not making money on that. If that makes sense.
And I'm asking ChatGPT right now what to charge, so I'm gonna see what the answer is.
That's good.
But that would be a good way too, like based on how many magazines you're sending out. Are you doing like quarter page, half page, full page ad, and in the Raleigh market, and we'll see what it comes up with.
But there's no, I would just say, for example, hey, the home inspector that I've been using for 10 years has agreed to pay X amount, as in part to keep getting business and a thank you and whatever. You would just add that in. I'd send you the copy, for example, and then he would just pay me.
Yes.
Okay.
Like we would charge you, for example, for your issue or for your magazines, and then either he pays you before we charge you, or vice versa, right? Then you pay up and then he will pay you, and then you get reimbursed for what you paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't be involved with him on asking for money for him.
And I know that it's in the chat, but is there any chance you could give a per magazine cost? Or do
Oh
you only
yes.
do that in
Oh,
specific
that's good.
demands?
Yeah, no, for sure. I saw that. I was just getting onto these questions here, but I was gonna get to it, wasn't.
Perfect.
So with Choice Residential, we do have a special pricing and a special relationship for quite some years now. And for Home by Design, we have the minimum is 30 magazines for both Home by Design and YHL. And the price is $3.49 for the Home by Design and $2.05 for the YHL per magazine. And you can order up to 50 and to 100 plus. And as the prices go, they go down too. So what I can do, so everyone can have a little bit of a price grid, we can send that on an email, Kate. Maybe I can send it to you, and then you can share it with your agents. Okay.
I'm
And
guessing
Sorry.
there is,
YHL is a smaller magazine.
sorry.
Just Kate's question in the chat about YHL. It's just a little smaller of a magazine, right? That goes out every month.
YHL is
Or
a
maybe I
little
missed that.
magazine. It's 12 pages, and opposed to HBD, the Home by Design magazine, it only gets 3 pages that you can customize, and it goes out on a monthly basis. That magazine, sometimes I recommend and I advise that it's a good tool to use for farming. So if you want to go and, like, for example, I had this client who used to do direct mail campaigns with flyers. Um, Soon enough, this gated community banned her from using those flyers as a direct mail campaign because it was considered as spam. So then what we did is that we introduced YHL to her, and YHL was no longer considered spam. But it was still a bit, in a way, cost effective, which it still brought value to the customer, to their clients, right? Because it was a magazine and she could still promote herself.
So sorry, my simple math here. If I do the smaller option, the smaller magazine, um, let's just say 100 people, I I think you said it's like $3 per, $300 a month. I can send it out every month.
Yes, for the smaller one, yeah, every month.
Okay.
And one thing I forgot to highlight, there is just a one-time setup fee for
Mhm.
both magazines, and it's 69.95. We typically charge $99, so it is a little bit of a discount on that just because it's with Choice.
Perfect. And I think someone else, I'm not sure if it was Alex or Ryan, I'm not sure if you could see my screen right now, but I did bring up the portal. Just
Yeah,
on
we
the
can
different.
see. This is
Okay,
perfect.
perfect. I was just trying to get a couple different sample sizes. So this is our client's portal specifically. So the interface, so this customer is a new customer, so it's currently set to default. And you can go in and preview each page. Let's see if it'll download. Sorry, it just takes a second here. as well as you are able to update your client lists, or you can send them to the personal marketing assistant who will then input all the information. It's not loading for me. Oh, there you go. So like I said, this is the most current one, and that's what it looks like. And because this is a new client, the information isn't quite there yet. So everything is set to default right off the hop. But we do have a client here who's gone ahead, and it looks like there are some custom pages. These are from the previous one, so they haven't been updated yet because we just went out with the June, July. We're just in process, but you can see that they've custom their page as well. So this is our sample. Is it this one? I'm sorry, this one here. Here's a personal message that they've sent us, and this is most likely a PDF that they sent us, and then we just sized it to make sure it'll fit in the screen. And that you can do that with each page. So again, this is Home by Design. So there's the 4 pages that you can go in and customize. So we're talking about top rank. So they're just talking about 1.5 of the realtors in the U.S. This is a U.S. client who's put in there for their group. Just to give you some ideas if you are looking to customize what it can potentially look like.
So, quick question, Brian, you mentioned you use this for years, and Stacy uses it now. Did you customize this regularly, or did you just kind of go with, these are the 4 pages and this is what I want, and kind of left it at that?
Yes, what I did personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time, I just left it. I had aspirations of going in and changing it, all the time, and didn't. Had aspirations of selling ad space and didn't. What I ended up doing most of the time was on the inside front cover. I just had kind of a letter to my people, just like thanking them for their support. And so it was just a letter that kind of went out every time. And then like when I sold, had the ad space for like my nonprofit guy, he went on the inside front cover, but all the years I used him, I didn't edit it much. Which is inefficient. I mean, I'm not good at lots of things like following up with people after open houses, for example. So like, you know, there's a lot of room for improvement. But even at its most, even with editing no pages, it was worth it to me. I mean, the staying power of these things is legitimate. Home by Design has incentive to tell you that people hang on to it and it has more staying power. But I don't have that incentive, and I can tell you that it has that staying power. I put in the chat, like one of my clients literally would keep a copy on his front dashboard in his truck because he was like, man, if people walk by my truck, I want them to see your face. Of course, that didn't actually lead to any business, but it was just, another opportunity for people to be your cheerleader, and empower them to like be proud of you. So,
and
yeah, well,
sometimes
I've had a like a trifold front and back glossy marketing piece for 10 years. That's been fantastic, goes out every month. I can't over exaggerate how many people over the years have said, I get it every month, it's great, or have called me, hey, I've been meaning to call you. I saw your latest, flyer, and it reminded me, you got to come over and talk to me. They went out of business. So I'm in the market for one, but I'm just kind of thinking about, that one was a smaller one. And anyway, the pros and cons of getting something that's more like a full magazine, which I find intriguing versus something, the 12 pager. I don't know.
yeah. I just too that if I didn't do anything, if I didn't send them an updated spreadsheet, if I didn't do anything, it still was going out. Like I
Yeah.
literally didn't have to think about it at all, which was nice. But also, when I started Choice, I stopped sending them out. And I would for years, people would still when I'd see them, they're like, "Oh man, we love getting your magazine."
Hmm.
I'm like, "I haven't sent it to you in 3 years," but they still like, that's how much of an impression it made. So.
Hmm.
perfect. Does anyone else have any other questions, or Miguel, if you want to add anything?
No, just wanted to see if anyone had any other questions with this, and when are we getting started, guys?
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we'll send this recording out too. So the people on the call, I'm sure that are interested. I guess, have we given your contact information on who they need to reach out to and get it set up?
On the last slide, I believe we had on our PowerPoint, we had there the email where where agents can contact, and then we can guide everyone through that process.
Cool. So we'll make sure that goes out as well when we send out the recording. And yeah, Kate, take it away.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's it. I just want to
And
double down with what Brian said. I stopped doing any sort of mailers when I got out of production, and then I obviously have always known the power of referral. So I started on backup last year after not sending my clients anything in 3 years, and I've gotten multiple texts saying like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I've been getting these, and it's so cool to see your face. Like, keep at it." And so it's such a great opportunity to start conversations. It's also a great place to put reminders about client events that we do at Choice. These are things that I sent them individual postcards about as well, but then I could double down on it in my magazine cover and say, hey, you should be looking out for this. It'll be coming soon. Or it was great to see so many of you at this event. And so, um, it all just compounds. So thanks for showing up today, y'all. Thanks for the consideration. It's always your business, but we like to provide resources that work, especially those that leverage your time and that we know have staying power. So appreciate you guys showing up, and thank you to Danielle and Miguel for your time today and for sharing all this with us. We'll be sure to get the recording out and then make sure that we've got your contact info in there as well. Thank you.
sounds good.
Thanks
And
for
thank you
having us.
very much for everyone for the time and for hearing us out and for the support, Kate. Thank you very much.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks,
Have a good day.
Kate.
Yeah.
Have a nice evening.
Bye.
Bye.